and welcome to Lake House Vlogs. So in today's video I thought I would give you a look into our kindergarten, I don't want to say the word curriculum because we don't have a curriculum, but what we are doing for kindergarten here in the Lake House. So we have Cruz, who is in kindergarten, and he is 3 years old and he's actually about to turn 4. So we live in Western Australia, and what we call kindergarten here in Western Australia is for 4 and 5 year old kids. So they'll either be 3 turning 4 that year, or they'll already be 4 turning 5 at the end of the year. And kindergarten here in Western Australia is actually not compulsory, so it is not a legal requirement to go to kindergarten. And kindergarten is only 5 days a week, so 5 days a fortnight. Let me get that right. So 1 week they will go to school for 2 days, and then the following week they will go to school for 3 days. Well, that's what they were doing at the school that we were a part of. So it is 5-day fortnight for kindergarten here in Western Australia. So I'm homeschooling 3 children at the moment. I have William, who's in grade 5, I have Emily, who's in grade 1, and then I have Cruz, who is my kindergartner. And I don't have any formal or official curriculum to do with Cruz in kindergarten, but I will just show you some of the different things that we are using. So what he doesn't necessarily do kind of school work every day. So what we do most of our schoolwork in the afternoon when my little toddler is napping, and so we have some quiet time in our day where we all sit down at the homeschool table and we do our schoolwork. And so during those days, Cruz will come and join us at the table, and he might be doing his own little playing or his own little activity while I'm teaching the other children, or he'll be sitting and joining in with us. And so when I'm doing language with my kids or math with the older children, then Cruz will sit up at the table and I'll have a little activity for him to do. Or if it's what I call our family style subjects, and he actually listens in and joins us. So for example, when we were doing our science unit, we would be doing our science lesson, and Cruz would be with us at the table. He would be listening to all of the read alouds. If it was a simple enough activity, he would join in with us, and then I would have all sorts of space books that were tailored for his age, and he would flip through and look at the space books while the other older children were then doing their notebooking activity for the space unit. So he's kind of really learning by immersion at the moment and just being involved in what the other kids are doing, but I don't have an high expectation of him completing any of the lessons or anything like that. But he's there listening to the things we're talking about, watching the movies with us, reading the books with us, and just kind of learning naturally through that kind of process. What our day looks like here in the Lake household is our mornings are usually free from school. We don't usually do schoolwork in the mornings. We will do Bible time in the mornings, worship, reading from the Bible, reading, devotions, all of that kind of stuff is done in the morning. And then, we do the jobs. Obviously there's breakfast time, and then we kind of have what I call family time. So in that family time, we're doing things like we might have to go to the shops to go grocery shopping, or we will go for a bike ride, we will go to the park, we will go hang out with our friends, we might go on a trip to the library, we might actually just stay home and play board games together, or the kids will just be doing free play. So that's what our mornings look like. And then when we have lunch together, and then my toddler goes off to bed because I have 4 children. So my little toddler goes off to bed, and then me and the 3 other children will sit down at the homeschool table and do all of our schoolwork, and usually that's only a few hours that we will be doing that. And so Cruz has all of the things that a normal 3-4 year old does. So he has a whole room full of beautiful toys that he plays with, Legos, blocks, imaginative play. He rides his bike, he rides his scooter, we play outside, we go to the playground, we go to the beach. All of those kind of wonderful things is what he gets to experience. And then what I will show you now, which is laid out on the bed behind me, is all of those little activities that I was talking about. So when he comes to the homeschool table, when the other children are doing their work, then he can either choose some of these things to do, or I'll bring them out of the cupboard, the things that I really want him to look at that day, and I'll just pop them on the table and I will sit next to him, and I'll be helping my older children and kind of helping him at the same time, and he's just reading books, playing games, playing with Play-Doh, all fun, super fun and easy things for him to do. So without further ado, let me show you all of the things that I have for a kindergarten kid. Okay, so this is pretty much all of the things that I use for him at the moment. Obviously, as he grows and learns and develops, some of these resources will change, but this is what we are using, which is the beginning of a kindergarten year. And all of this kind of fits back up into his little cupboard. If you saw my homeschool room tour, you would have seen that each of my children have a cupboard. So all of his things are all located in the one cupboard, and then I've just pulled it all out to show you. Okay, so start down here. Obviously, books, and more books. Reading reading to your children every single day from when they're young is super important. So we have a whole collection of books, and we read to him every day. And these are some of the books that we are focusing on at the moment. It's kind of talking about you, where you've come from, your family tree, and all of those kind of concepts is what want to teach him at this age. And so these 3 books that we are using at the moment, we are using, first I started with this one, We Chose You. This is a brand new book, and this is really, really great. My little guy has what we call a tummy mummy. I didn't give birth to him. He came to us through foster care. So this has been a really great story kind of explaining that. And then I read to him When God Made You, which is excellent. And then talking about me and what my family tree looks like. And then actually talking about what Cruzy's family tree actually looks like, because it's different to some other people. For maths, we are focusing on numbers, in particular recognising numbers, learning how to count, and one-to-one correspondence. And we just use this book. It's just Osborne Lift the Flat Numbers book, and I think I just got this from Kmart. And he will look at this book himself, so he'll get it out and he'll sit with it and do as much as he can. And after he's had a little look, then I will sit and read it with him, and we just repeat this over and over again. I have the laptop there to remind me to tell you we use the YouTube channel called Super Simple Songs, and I will link that below, and that has really cute counting songs and things like that on there, and so we use that. And then I just have this basket, which is just filled with little manipulatives that we use. So we have this little jar of seashells. We actually use this as counters. And then I have just a whole bunch of different tabletop activities. So these are little discs with the numbers on. So just for example, we would get the numbers, 1 to 5, and then work on numbers 1 to 10 out. We would line them up together and then use the seashells to pop 1 seashell under there, 2 seashells under there, and then count them. So lots of hands-on little activities. I don't expect him to know it. I will sit there and help him to do that. And then in here we just have a whole bunch of other cards that we will use for different things, shapes and colours and things like that. And these cards I just picked up in sets they're just from Kmart, I think a couple of dollars. And they just look like that, and it comes with a little card telling you like what kind of different activities and things that you can do with those. So that's for our numbers. And then I have this is a Melissa and Doug set. I can't remember what online store I got it from, but just from online somewhere. and they just have all of the shape blocks in there, and they just come with these wooden picture cards, and he can use the shapes to make the pictures. That's really great, obviously, for knowing your shapes, spatial awareness, and also fine motor skills as well. For learning the alphabet, again, we use super simple songs on YouTube, and we look for the videos that are singing the alphabet song and things like that. There's heaps of videos that you can look online with phonetics and all that kind of stuff. So YouTube's just a wealth of information. We use that all the time. But I just have this wooden puzzle that he will do. Pick this up, very inexpensive, again from Kmart here in Australia. And he will do the puzzle, and then I'll just go through with him, and you know, we do not just the names, but we'll do the sounds, like this is a, b, k, and things like that. So he plays with that all the time. And then we just have an alphabet book. And we just happen to have an animal one. That's the one I found at the shop. And so we will just read and reread this all the time. So it just goes through, obviously, all of the animals with the alphabet. And that's all we're pretty much doing for the alphabet at the moment. I have a little workbook. This is just an A4 size that I picked up from Kmart. And any drawings that he does, we do in this book. He is just learning how to hold a crayon properly, really working on his fine motor skills and how to draw and all those kind of things. So I always make sure that I put the date for him so we know. And just for all of these things, I just stepped him through. Let's draw a person, and what do we need to do? And then I will write, and he will just trace over the writing that I did, again just practicing his fine motor skills. So you can kind of see the evolution of his drawings have just been getting better and better. And we have been doing a little bit of name practice. That's just me writing his name, and he's just got the crayon, and he's just forming the letters over top of that. He loves drawing his family. That's all he pretty much wants to draw when he comes. So he's been working on that. Now we're kind of moving into you know, adding a body to our drawing now. And so he's I drew that shark and he just copied it. But here you go, he's added in extra features now, you know, a body and ears. And so he will get this out when the kids are drawing at the table. He pretty much likes to do whatever the other children are doing. And I'll get him to come, and I'll say, what would you like to draw? And he'll say, I want to draw, like for this one, he said, I want to draw a God. And so, okay, let's draw a God, you know, where do we start? And I step him through that, and he'll literally only sit here for a few minutes to do that, and then he's done. And so I don't force him to stay any longer than that. We kind of finish our activity, and I say to him, do you want to draw some more? And usually the answer will be no. And so then he'll go on to something else, or he'll hop down and go and play. Really working on Cruz's fine motor skills. As I said, when we first started school, he couldn't hold a pencil. He couldn't remember how to hold the pencil correctly, or even what hand he liked to use. So we do a lot of fine motor things for him. So a lot of building with Legos, the big blocks, building with wooden blocks, and then I have lots of puzzles. These are just a few that I have, but I do have some more wooden puzzles that he uses. These were just, I picked up these ones because we're doing marine biology and space. And then I just have this little lacing set, which I picked up, again, very inexpensive. This is from Kmart, and you know, just lacing around the animal shapes, and that's really, really great for fine motor skills. So we lace it up, and then he takes the lace out. And so we have puzzles, we have lacing, and then we have the, as I said, the blocks and the Legos, and then we also have a Playdough basket. And in particular, what I do is I have some Play-Doh scissors, and so I will get him to roll out some Play-Doh sausages, and then getting him to cut with these scissors is also really, really good for fine motor skills. So we're doing a lot of fine motor skills for Cruz. So lots of practicing holding his pencil and drawing pictures and writing over the words that I draw. lots of puzzles, lots of playing with Play-Dohs and Legos and all of those kind of things to really strengthen up his fingers, getting ready to really start writing. I do use some programs on the computer with Cruz, and one particular one that we started using was Literacy Planet, and Literacy Planet is excellent. And here in Western Australia, just a tip if you wanted to use it, we actually have free access to Literacy Planet through our library system. So if you have a library card, you can log on to Literacy Planet you can sign up to Literacy Planet using your library card. So just head to your local library website and have a look on there and you'll be able to find it. And so Literacy Planet is excellent. It is for all ages. So all three of my kids actually use this program, and it just has a little map that he's working through, and I'll just show you. So he just clicks on these little exercises, and it'll take him through, and he can pretty much do them independently because there's instructions, and it's great for fine motor because he's learning how to use the trackpad and a mouse and all that kind of stuff. We at the beginning stages, it's really great. It goes through matching, it goes through click below, above, next to, and all that kind of stuff. We've come to a little bit of a standstill because they've headed into phonics now for him, and listening to sounds, and that's actually a bit above his head. He can't do it. He doesn't understand. So we've stopped using Literacy Planet for him just at the minute for some of the activities because it is a little bit difficult. And then the other program we do use, which I just use this one for free. You can pay for a subscription, but we're just using the free element, and this is Starfall. And so because we're on Literacy Planet and we got to a section where he just didn't know the sounds of his letters, then I've come and we're going to use Starfall. It's just starfall.com, and he is working through each of these letters and just really focusing on the sounds. So Literacy Planet and Starfall is the two that we use on the computer, as well as super simple songs. So there you have it. Super simple, super easy. They are all things that I pretty much was able to source locally from good old Kmart. If I can, I will leave linked below some of those products that we are using. But as you can see, it's super easy to put together a kindergarten curriculum, if you would like to say, for your kindergartner. It's just probably pretty much the things that you have anyway. We already had puzzles, Play-Doh, storybooks. It's just really being intentional about getting those things out and working one-on-one with your little kindergartner. And what I really just did is I kind of looked at Cruz at a whole and thought, okay, what are the things that he that I would like him to know and that he really needs to work on at the moment. And for Cruz, obviously it's all of his fine motor skills, strengthening his little fingers to get him ready for next year when it's time to start writing and all those kind of things. So all of the activities under the sun that I can think of for strengthening his little fingers is what we will do. And just the enjoyment of drawing and the enjoyment of looking at books and all those kind of things is what we like to do. And then for us is focusing on family and what does his beautiful family look like. So a couple of things I did forget to show you on the bed is the actual Bibles that I use for Cruz. All of the kids in my home have Bibles that are tailored for their age group, because I find as they grow older, they kind of need the next book up. So when it comes to Bible time, he will join in with what the older kids are doing, listening to them read aloud from their Bibles, and then I will actually read his Bible to him. So the one that we just have is my first read aloud Bible, and this has just been handed down from my kids, and I just got that from Kurong. I don't know if they still carry it or not, because as I said, it's been handed down from my other children, but this is just simple text and beautiful pictures, and so I will read this to him just like a storybook. as well. So I like him to join in with what we're doing with the older kids, to hear and just be a part of what we're all doing, but then do something that's tailored for him as well. And then I do also have this, the Jesus Storybook Bible, and I read aloud from this for all of my children. And this is actually, of all the Bibles that I've had over the years and that we are using, this is actually my absolute favourite. So much so that I went and bought it to use as curriculum for our church. So I highly recommend the Jesus Storybook Bible. Again, beautiful pictures. But what I really actually like is the text, the storyline, and how everything really does point back to Jesus. And I can't recommend this one enough. This is really good. So if you have any questions for me, please leave a comment below. I'd love to start a conversation with you and answer any questions that you have. And thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.